So, what is your best advice for mental strength through troubling times? If people are struggling with mental health and getting through this sort of thing, being confronted with this type of devastating diagnosis for the second time in your life, well, what are you going to say? What's your best advice to someone who may be experiencing something similar?
The mental health journey with transplantation is complex. It definitely has different components to try and stay strong during it. The first thing I think of is that when you're on the transplant wait list, you're so much is out of your control, and that's a really hard thing to deal with. And so for me, trying to take control of anything that I could and feel like I was an active participant in my health really helped me feel like not everything was out of my control. Like every morning I'd wake up and say, okay, what test needs done or what step needs done to get to the next process on the wait list.
Mm-hmm.
Finding moments of normalcy, because when you're on the wait list and waiting for a life-saving transplant, you feel so removed from the rest of the world. You feel like you're suspended and everything else is going on except your life, and you're just literally waiting. That waiting zone is so hard. So finding any type of just normalcy, like right before a liver transplant, we temporarily relocated to St. Louis, and my husband and I found this little cafe that reminded us of home. And if I felt well, we'd go there and we would just sit there and we'd almost just pretend life was normal, and we'd look around and we were like all the other people there. But little did they know, us, Noah and I, we were sitting there waiting for a call to hopefully get a second chance at life. And it's like, you don't know the people that you're around, what they're actually going through. So I think trying to contribute as much as I can to have a sense of control and normalcy, and just really accepting support. You know, that was really hard for me because I try and be strong for everybody around me, and I try and do too much. And it got to a point where I had to let go and realize that I needed help and I couldn't do everything. And that's really hard. Like I even liked grocery shopping with Noah, and it got to a point where I wasn't strong enough to even walk around the grocery store, and I'd have to lay in the car while he grocery shopped. And that was just, it's so hard that just things were stripped that I couldn't do anymore. So I think during these times, just opening up and accepting support from other people, and just trying to find joy, just a little bit of joy in each day. Like for me, it was nature and fresh air, just a little bit each day is just so important.
I agree. Just, the simple things, the things that are so simple in life will definitely recenter you and bring you back to what's most important. So now let's talk about your career, what you have become as a speaker, as an international speaker that's sought after internationally, Valen. So why don't we start? You have raised $1.3 million for this cause to support other people in your community that are suffering from PKD. Can you tell us a bit about how did you go about raising this amount of money, and what advice would you give to someone trying to match this cause or even get close to that number to help their community?
Well, it's been over 18 years. So it started with, I did a campaign with the PKD Foundation of sharing my story and reaching out to their mailing list and doing this big national campaign, which helped raise a lot of money. And then I've done it through individual events like fundraising walks. And I just learned of my passion of doing events. I love it. I love bringing people together and getting media, and all of this I realized was just naturally in me. I went from that to, once we moved out to California, I worked with an amazing committee here, and we did an evening Corks for a Cure event for polycystic kidney disease. And we raised a couple $100,000 through doing that. So it's just been these events throughout the year to bring people together and raise awareness. And I just started, you just start somewhere of reaching out to an organization, whether it's your specific disease like I did with PKD, or whether you want to go the transplant route. Like I reached out to my local organ procurement organization, and becoming an ambassador with them led to me meeting my closest friends. And I just really recommend that. I mean, you can use your voice in many ways, and it can be more private if you're not comfortable, or it can be more outspoken, but it's really been therapeutic for me. It's just, I think it processes all that I've gone through, and just talking about it is very therapeutic, and knowing that it's helping others on their journey then just makes me only look at all that I've been through with a bright light, because it's helping other people and feels like worth all that I've gone through.